Good afternoon. This is Catherine Curran from the Minnesota Center for Systemic Constellations. And it's my privilege and honor to interview my good friend and colleague, Susan Altschwager, this afternoon. Right now you can see Susan over in the corner, but when we start the interview, you'll see her big and me small, I hope. And I'm interviewing her today about a workshop she's doing for us in May called Finding Your Place in the New Story for Humanity. Susan and I have been friends and colleagues since 2016, and this has always been the core of her work, The New Story for Humanity. She's published a book by that title, and now it's become like the major part of her work and is also part of the foundational point of view for the work we do here in our center. Our purpose is to nurture the evolution of human consciousness toward compassion and wholeness. And some of the energy for that we take from Susan's work and her energy and her calling in life. So I've asked her today if I can interview her so that you might get a sense of who she is and hope to help you decide if this workshop is for you. The workshop will be May 6th and 7th and 13th and 14th. There'll be 4 evenings from 5:30 to 9:30. And you can find more information on that either in our newsletter or on our website. But without further ado, I'm going to change the view here, and we're going to, okay, there's Susan, and there we go. Hello, Susan.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
You look gorgeous there. It's morning, right?
Yes, it's morning here in Australia and 26 degrees. So a different weather forecast than what you have.
Yeah. That's like, I think, the mid to high 70s here. So yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. So let's jump right in. And I want to ask you, first of all, we're mainly going to be talking about the new story for humanity. But let's start to let people know a little bit about you and how did you come to this work?
Okay, Catherine. I'd just like to thank you for inviting me. And your friendship and our journey together has supported me many times. So I'd just like to thank you for that too. We kind of met and connected very strongly and have been a part of each other's life from that. So the new story, where it means it is a very strong passion and calling inside me. It started about 30 years ago. At that stage in my life, I was not interested in spiritual journey or understanding a deeper meaningful of life. I was very, very happy in my life. I was, and still am, married to a wonderful man, 50 years married this year. 3 great kids. And back then I had 2 fashion shops. So I would describe myself and my reality back then, family, fashion and friends, loved a good time, champagne, a lot of social life, and was I actually didn't even know what meditation was. And I had an experience. I was in nature in the Adelaide Hills here in Australia and had a huge awakening. And that awakening entailed having a connection to an ancient energy force, like a being presented himself to me. And for someone whose reality did not even understand meditation, this was a massive awakening. And through that deep ancient knowledge and information just opened up in me in an instant. This was really frightening, and it took many years for me to come to terms with it. And this information was about the natural evolutionary process for humanity. This information was that we were actually living in this time as a whole human race, and we would walk through these times because evolution was calling us and asking more from us. What I feel was I experienced a time where the original story of us as a humanity opened up in me. And this was a woman who just loved her kids and passion. And so it took me many years to come to terms with what was wanting to express through me, not what I was wanting in my life.
Right.
So through this process, I began to understand we were going through a process of completion of old systems and birth of new systems. And I just came up with the word, a new story for humanity. And through those 30 years, I have become clearer. I have owned a voice in it. Because it's leading edge information, that can be very scary to own a voice in information that is not written in our system or education. This information comes from a space within our heart and connected to something a long time ago. So, so I do have an absolute strong reality that this new story is available to humanity. It's a natural process of evolution, new vision, new leadership, and new systems birthing through individuals all over the planet. It's not a call that we can choose. It is what it is, and it's bigger than we can understand. I would like to mention the first people, the Australian Aboriginals, at this time. I feel that somewhere within this, they have held this ancient wisdom in a place that is the right timing for it to be available for us as a humanity. So I feel it's very sacred, and I feel we're blessed as a humanity to have this available to us.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for all of that. I know all of those words are hard-won words for you. You had to live into all of them, right? And you know, and let all of that come through you. So I appreciate that. Is there any more that you would say about what the new story for humanity is? Oh,
yes.
And then the second part of that, why is it so important for us at this time to wake up to this at this moment? Or how is this moment in time a part of that?
It is a very natural calling of evolution taking place in us from larger force fields. It's like the electromagnetic force field within our own heart space that is connected to Mother Earth's electromagnetic force field is in a place of activating. And this comes from a larger story, a bigger system, and it's on time here now for the human race. In actual fact, what I began to feel and understand, we have a lost heritage that we've forgotten as a humanity. And within our DNA, there is memory in here. And many people all over the planet are starting to remember this original story of connection. For it is the vibration of connection that is actually birthing. We speak words, but it's actually a vibration of higher intelligence. And it is in us and a part of us, and will be born through us in this time now. And one of the greatest things I feel, we come from a constellation reality, and to have total acknowledgement that this hasn't just taken place. Every generation and every person from our systems from the past have brought this time to us. We actually have evolved to be able to intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, through our whole body, be able to live this and take it forward. But it's been passed on to us. It just hasn't happened.
Right.
So I think this part of our knowing about our ancestors and understanding what's happened behind us will give us strength and support. I often do work like looking at generations in front of us. And so I feel that our generation is like transition time from here to
right.
forward.
And all the difficulties we have now with COVID and all of the unrest and is this like anti that, or is this a part of it, or how is it related?
Yeah. I feel it's all a part of it. I feel we're at crossroads of the old systems, the illusions showing. It's what is taking place here is vibrational energy. It's just that we are living through the old system breaking down. We are living through holding a place. It takes a lot of strength. And people that have put their hand up, so to speak, to be frontiers in this work, have days when they often feel on their hands and knees, not knowing what's taking place inside them. So I think it's crucial that we begin to start to truly give a voice to the time we are living in. And we are living in an extraordinary time with massive opportunities for us to create a totally different world for future generations. Yeah.
Wow, I just want to that's big. I can feel the energy of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. There was a question I was going to ask you. I want to see if it's still if I still want to say it or not. Because that was so big what you said.
And I feel that people that may connect to what I'm saying already have the knowing inside them.
Yeah.
Already have the knowing of the winds of changes that are taking through COVID or the environment or the massive debt that's in our world. It's like if we begin to give it a voice, if we begin to understand, have education on it, fear does not have to beat the rhythm of our life.
Right.
We can go through this in a place of gratitude, love, and an essence of grace. If we truly start to give it a voice and give it acknowledgement. I mean, in constellation work, one of our greatest things is acknowledging what is. It gives the system strength. It gives our whole self strength. So acknowledging what is, this is real. We are living in this time. Call it new story, original story, call it what we want, but it is real. And as we own the realness of it, ourselves own it. It's not an intellectual thing. It is much, much bigger.
Yeah.
And whether we will fully understand it in our lifetime, I'm not sure, but many people over the planet will have had phenomenal experiences, not like mine, but different ones.
Yes, absolutely.
Supporting these new ways forward.
Yeah.
But because it doesn't come from an intellectual point of view, many people keep silent. Many people stand back and don't give it a voice. Yeah.
Huh.
I would just like to say that constellation work supported me so much to own my destiny.
Oh, interesting.
Not what I wanted, but what was wanting to come through me is my destiny.
Yeah.
And it's been hard work. And I've said no, no, no many times,
Right.
but I now fully say yes. Yeah.
So I'm just going to tell this story so people see this other little side of you. Okay. So that I know that in the beginning, you saw these visions of a lot of the breakdowns, right? You saw them, and you saw it as
Yeah.
part of the transition, and you saw bushfires, and you saw, many people dead and all of that. And so I know for a while you were concerned you were losing your mind because you were seeing these, and a minister
Yeah.
eventually told you,
Yeah.
no, you're having a spiritual awakening. But the point I want to get to is last year when there was the bushfires in Australia and the beginning of COVID and all this stuff was happening, you said to your husband, okay, Wally, pour me a Bailey's. I was right. Because you saw it. Yeah.
I went and bought, yeah, I did. I bought this large bottle of Bailey's, which I often have a drink if I want to celebrate something.
Yeah. No,
And
you said,
COVID has just been announced. Yeah.
that's right. You said, yeah, pour me a Bailey's. Wally, I'm not nuts. Yeah. Yeah. You saw a lot of this, right? And it's like, well, what? Who wants to see this? When you like have fashion shops and you like doing your nails, is the other thing you said to me. Yeah.
And the other thing is that feeling of, not what I want, what's wanting to express through me. I think that's going to be a rhythm for many of us as we live through this transition time. Is doing that move from it's all about me as an individual, that it's about us as a collective humanity.
Yeah.
So, because going back to constellation work, I even put this in, humanity came here before me. So humanity is the big one.
Yeah.
And I'm the little one.
Yeah.
It's just we've often operated opposite to that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So just to keep moving on this, so who in this particular workshop, who should come and why, and how will constellations be involved?
Yeah, I will feel probably the people that have that big, deep calling of service, that pull of service. And when I often do talks about the new story for humanity, it's people come up and say to me, I actually feel all that, it's just you've put words to it. And so I think it's those people that are aligned to being a frontier, moving forward. We're going into places. Some people have to always be first. So it's those people. And also people that really have that knowing of the winds of change are taking place. And I think there's a uniqueness in everybody. And that uniqueness has pure potential to support new vision, new leadership, and new systems going forward. So I feel those people will be connected to this workshop. Constellations, I think, gives us opportunities to walk into the field. And I often feel ancient wisdom is within that field. And if we as constellators hold this new story in us, if we begin to understand the realness of what's taking place, when we're doing constellation work, it will expand through us. Mm-hmm. So because I often feel within the work you go where you've been, or you go where you can go. And we're talking about larger forces here. So within our constellation work, when we own this new story or this evolutionary process or the evolutionary pulse, or I often feel I'm being called from future generations. So if we own that we will put that into our work. And I feel that's what I do put that into my work when I'm doing constellation work.
Well, a real innovation that I hear you talking about is not only, we know that we are concerned with what's come to us from the past, but it's like, what are we for the future generations? Like
Yeah.
how I don't even know how to put it in words very well, but this whole thing of do this because of the future generations, and that helps like spin it from being so maybe always focused just on what wants to happen for humanity, So if somebody was to come, I'm sorry. Oh,
no. The only thing I was going to say, I actually fully believe there's an extraordinary pull and within us, and the impulse is not just from trauma, it is from this pulse of evolution. Mm-hmm. And this pulse of evolution pulling us forward can affect our nervous system, can affect many parts of us physically, mentally, emotionally, because it is huge energy. It's force fields and it's changing. It's like you're getting rewired. And yeah.
So if people were to come, they might experience some of this, right?
Yes.
Personally.
Yes. Yeah. And do you know the other thing? If people were to come, some of the, I think what supports us, they may get a Bailey's and say, oh my God, I'm not mad. Because most of them will have had experiences or knowings or have ideas. Many of them are in a place of holding new vision, new leaders. New leaders are ordinary men and women who have this calling. And they will have their own stories, their own unique expression of what it is for them. Mm-hmm. And I think just to have the words and they can go and, cheers together. We're not mad.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I just want to be clear, and we will use constellations to get at some of this.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
There's a process of meditation, a process of education, and a process of constellation.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Cool. And that's in the workshop.
That's in the workshop.
Oh, I love that. All the shuns. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So meditation, education, and constellation. That is just fabulous. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's very clear. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's about all I have to ask. Is there anything else you want to say just as we move?
No, there nothing else except thank you. And I'm looking forward to maybe meeting new people.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward for us to say we're all in this together. And we can do this. We've got this. We were born for these times.
We were born for these times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Susan Altschwager. And again, she will be with us May 6th and 7th. That's I believe a Thursday and a Friday, and 13th and 14th, another Thursday and Friday from 5:30 to 9:30, live from Australia. And again, you can register on our website, or if you've received this through a newsletter, there should be a link. If you want more information, please feel free to contact me. My contact information will be at the end of this video. And look forward to seeing a lot of you in May. Take care. Bye-bye.